beautiful little girl Cinderella. So hold your breath for that and enjoy the story. Here begins my story. Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful house. The house was in the middle of the city in the fields. There lived a very beautiful and little girl called Cinderella. She had a very beautiful eyes. Cinderella was brought up by her father because she was not having her mother. Her father was playing the role of both the parents for her. She was very close to her father. But one day, her father decided to remarry. She is the stepmother of Cinderella. The stepmother was really very cruel. She never behaved as a real mother. Even Cinderella was having two stepsisters. They both also never treated Cinderella, their sister. They both were very ugly, not at all beautiful, and they all were jealous of Cinderella's beauty.
One day, her father has to go out for some official work, so he left the house. Cinderella was very upset. Her stepmother and her sisters were looking for that opportunity. They found a chance to throw out Cinderella from her bedroom. They thought of a plan. Her stepmother asked Cinderella to leave the room as soon as possible. There wasn't any option with Cinderella, so she started to shift the room. She shifted in the servant's room and left her bedroom. Cinderella used to talk with birds. She was having no friends, so only the birds and mice were her friends. She used to talk to mice also her problems. She used to come and sleep near the fire palace because it was very cold in the servant's room. She was not able to sleep there. She was doing all the household work since then because her mother told her to do that. Three of them used to enjoy and sit all the day, but Cinderella used to do all the household work. Even if she is tired, she don't have any other option. And you know what happened one day? A prince, he sent a message to the public, to all the girls living in that city. The message was that the prince wants to marry, and for that, he invited all the girls in the city for a ball dance at his palace. Three of them were very excited for that event. The stepmother wants her daughters to go in that party. She also wants them to be a princess of the prince. They all went for shopping for new clothes and footwears, and they left Cinderella at home. Cinderella was very upset because she also wanted to go in the party to the prince's palace, but her stepmother refused from doing that. She don't took Cinderella for shopping with her. They all brought new clothes for them and are getting ready for the party. When the final day arrived, the two sisters wake up early that morning and they shouted Cinderella. They called Cinderella for their help to getting them ready. Cinderella helped them to make their hairs and wearing their dress and making them ready. Three of them were very happy. They were pretending each other as they are looking very beautiful. They all were looking in the mirror and commenting each other. Cinderella again requested her stepmother to go with them to the party, but she refused. They left Cinderella for household work and they warned her not to come there to the party. Cinderella was very upset. She started crying, sitting in her room alone. She was recalling her mother, and suddenly a light appeared in the light palace. So she was shocked to see that light. From that light, a fairy appeared. The fairy was also very beautiful. She was pleased to talk to that fairy. The fairy was there to fulfill Cinderella's wish to go in the party. So she asked Cinderella to bring one pumpkin from the kitchen and also 7 mice. Cinderella took a pumpkin from the kitchen and also she brought 7 mice. Can you imagine what happened next? The fairy converted the pumpkin into a beautiful horse carriage. Very soon, the fairy with her stick converted one of the mice into the driver of the horse carriage, and other 6 mice were converted into 6 horses. The fairy also made Cinderella the very beautiful girl. Fairy also changed the clothes of Cinderella. She made her looking very pretty and beautiful. But before going to the castle, the fairy warned Cinderella to come back before 12 because everything will turn back again after 12. The little beautiful Cinderella was sitting in the horse carriage and she is ready to go, and she left for the palace. Very soon she arrived at the palace. As soon as she entered the castle, all the people in the party were looking at her because she was looking extremely beautiful. Nobody was there before Cinderella as beautiful as she was. Her mother and stepsisters were also shocked to see that beautiful girl. They were not recognizing her as Cinderella, but they were shocked to see her beauty. Suddenly, the prince appears on the stairs, and he could not stop looking at that elegant and beautiful lady. Cinderella really stood out of among all the girls at the castle. The prince came to her. The stepmother and 2 sisters thought that prince is coming to them, but they all were wrong. The prince fell in love in the first sight with that beautiful and elegant girl. 3 of them were very shocked to see that the prince is going towards that girl. The prince invited that lady for dance, and they both started dancing at the ball. Cinderella was so captivated by the music and the prince, as she thought that they both are there only in the ball. They both danced all night and enjoyed the whole night. And Cinderella never felt about the time, how the time had passed. But suddenly, the clock drew the attention of Cinderella. It was almost midnight, and she remembered the warning given by the fairy to her that she has to come back before 12 because everything is going to turn back again. With a panic, Cinderella began to run and left the prince behind. The prince was surprised to see her running like this. And when she was running down the stairs of the castle, she dropped one of her shoe on the stairs, and she was not having any time to collect it back because it was almost 12. When she was out of the castle, she turned back again, that simple girl. When the prince went after her to look her where she has gone, he spotted her shoe. Ordered her servants to search that girl, to look for that girl, even if they have to spot all the girls of that city. He ordered to find the owner of that shoe. Now Cinderella is back at her home and she is crying so much because she fell in love with that prince seriously and she wants to be there in the castle. The servants were trying the shoe from door to door to find the owner of that shoe, but it was not fitting in somebody's feet. Then they went to Cinderella's house, and she was again full of hope that somebody could find her. But her cruel stepmother refused her to go out, and she locked her in the room so that she could not come out of that room. Cinderella was shouting to open her up, but her mother refused. Both Cinderella's sisters tried to fit that shoe in their feet, but whatever they have done for that, their feet, it was not even fitting to their feet. The servants of the prince refused to listen to any of the excuse given by the stepmother and sisters because it was all in vain. The only chance left with Cinderella was to come to the window and to call the servants from the window, but they were not able to listen to her. Now she was sitting quietly and crying so much and alone. The mice could not see her like this, so they all wanted to help her. Listening to this, one of the mice come out from the door and he went downstairs and he picked the key from the mother's pocket. He took the keys and slipped the keys from the door to Cinderella to open the door. Cinderella was so happy to get the key. She suddenly opened the door and she went downstairs as fast as she could to reach to the servants of the prince because they all were leaving. Three of them started shouting at her. How could she come out of the room? Cinderella stopped the men from going and she requested them to try the shoe once to her. Now all the girls and even the men were shocked to see that it was of her size only. This was her shoes, so they had found the owner of that shoe. Cinderella went to the castle with the men and they took her in front of the prince. Finally, when the prince looked in the eyes of that girl, he recognized that she is the only girl with whom he was dancing the whole night in the castle. And now he held her hands in his hand and he proposed for marriage. With teary eyes from happiness, she agreed to the proposal of the prince and they got married ever after and they lived happily. This was all about the story. The end was so beautiful. Have you enjoyed the story? It was a good story. So, I will back again with a new story. Till then, bye bye kids.